Jim guys, in today's video we're going to be talking about Solana Pay and Blinks and how to use them in your mobile application. So let's just get right into it. So for this video, so you can follow along, you're going to be cloning this repository like as I've been doing in the previous videos, right? So what is Solana Pay? Solana Pay is basically a standard protocol, right? That enables developer to income, yeah, all these bogus words, yeah. So just pretty much think of it like your Stripe, right? Stripe, or like the Web3 type of Stripe, Solana part of Stripe. So how it works, you should see that around here, the overview. So like this is a sequence diagram, right? So the customer, there are three users in here. There's like the customer, the wallet, and then like the merchant. This is your server, and then this is the Solana blockchain. So the customer scans a QR code, right? When they scan the QR code sends them to their wallet, right? That wallet makes a post request with the public key to the merchant or server. So if you are curious about like how they know this wallet, there's something they call mobile wallet standard or wallet protocol, right? Wallet adapter protocol that's like that can recognize that all the Solana mobile wallet like conform to it, right? It uses something like deep links, right? So wallet makes a push request. That push request returns custom serialized transaction, right? That transaction that can be signed, right, by the wallet. So we show the user the transaction details as your wallet does normally. Then the user approves or disapproves depending, right? Then the wallet signs and send the transaction to the Solana blockchain. But what's good about this is you are interacting with the Solana blockchain, but like it is it's just like API request, right? You're making a post request. That's pretty much like what's good about it. So this is the official JavaScript documentation, right? There is a DATS documentation for it. Let me check Solana Pay. There's a DAT documentation for it, although I have not tried it out, right? I saw it, I had issues with it, right? I mistook it for something else. I've not tried it out. But in this video, right, let's just check the Solana Pay exactly. This is like that documentation. It's 3 years. 3 years ago it was published, so I've not tried it out. I don't know if it still works, right? Because Flutter has updated and you have to like Kotlin issues, all those issues. I've not tried it out, right? But it might just need a minor update, right? But yeah, in, this is what we're going to be using. We're going to be using the official Solana mobile clients, Solana clients by Espresso Cash, right? So if you check the documentation of this package, you're going to see that it did something around Solana Pay too. Espresso Cash is a wallet, so obviously they have to like have like they have to like recognize Solana Pay. So I believe that's why they did it, right? So yeah, so it's this package you are going to be using. So the first thing we want to do is to clone this, right? Let's just open the terminal app fastest way. Video over here. Okay, I've done something like that here before. Can I delete it? Right, so let's do it here. Um, Desktop. Right, so we're going to open it up. Do our pub that pub gets. Open it up with VS Code. Right. Just want to be on. Just want to be here. So while that is loading up, I want to like get our dependencies right. Another thing we would want to do is to another thing we want to do is to so you can see my Android emulator. I'm going to use SCRCPY2. Right. If you don't know this tool, watch the second video. I believe I spoke about it on the second video in this series. It's a very nice tool. Allows me to like copy and paste, especially when you're using like Windows and Android. I know Windows and Android have that property now, but like previously they didn't used to like have it. I can just paste from my system to my phone, copy from my phone to my system that easily, right? So while we're waiting for this to load up, let's go and check out Blinks. Let's check out Blinks. For Blinks, I'll put the link to this very helpful X thread right somewhere around the video. So this guy compiled a list of APIs that you can just call, and then you can pretty much do anything you like on the blockchain, right? So these ones are done by somebody else, right? It's kind of like a backend, but like yeah, evidently if you want to be like if you want to have more um control over what you're doing, right? Maybe something more custom, you can like set up your own Blink. But yeah, it doesn't require you to like do too much on like writing like an anchor program, right? She says if you're worried about support, that's current state, right? So yeah, URLs are returned ready to sign transactions. You can pretty much do anything like staking, withdrawing what you have staked. You can send USDC to somebody like just your normal interactive with the Solana program system program. You can launch a coin. You can if you go to this trade, you see like there are a lot of things that you can do, right? And this is just like even limited, right? Because there's like a lot more you can still do. Just check out Blinks. I'll also drop the link to like dialects. Drop the link to dialects probably around the video too. Our VS code should have warmed up by now. I had to clone it in another repository because it was like just having issues. I think I already started it on that. Just write issues. I couldn't write to that part of the file. Right, so there's already like a UI, right? There's already a UI with like comments that we're going to need later, right? And yeah, there's this too. This time it's more robust. It already comes in with our like imports and everything, right? So let's just if you check the pub spec, you see like the packages we say we're going to use is there. We're going to use this for Solana Pay, and we're going to use this to like create push requests for the blinks, right? The first thing we want to do is to generate a Solana Pay request link, right? So if you check the sequence diagram, you see that it, while it's a push request, right? So we're going to generate a link. First and only important thing is going to be like the recipient. That's where the money will be settled, right? So we'll have amount, what what token we're going to be receiving, right? So you can receive pretty much any token. Um, have our reference. So all of these are like optional because the truth is that it's not actually like very 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 important. So what we want to do now, if you followed with the last video, is we want to build the the query that will be in like the link, right? Because it's a link if we're honest, right? So um like you know how that is with strings, right? So we have to like ensure that it is exactly how it's supposed to be. So we're going to make a map of type string to string. So if you're curious about why we're doing this, is because all of these are all of these are um all of these are optional, right? So it's possible for it to be empty. If it's empty, we'll just put it in the link like that. It's not going to like really make sense, right? So that's exactly why we're doing this. Let me see if I can copy. Let's try to change all of that. So SPL token. And this is not something that I would advise to do, because if you make mistake, you would hardly like errors in copy and paste is hardly noticeable. All right, now that that is done, now that that is done, we would want to build the query string, right? And it's all of this in like in it. So like we're going to map the query parameter. It's supposed to return a type of string, right? Let's just use let's use I want to check if it's empty before we like return anything, right? I see that's it. That's pretty much it. If you go back here, right, we're going to see that it's pretty much just a link that we're going to like make a push request to, right? So where we currently are, right, is um all we're currently doing is generating the QR code that's going to be in the link, right? So when these are signs, when these are scans that QR code, is going to like make a push request with the public key. Now that public key is the recipient that we're adding here, right? And the push request is going to this query string, right? So yeah, then this one responds with a signable transaction. Then the wallet decodes it and be like, oh, this is the details. Is this what you want to do? The customer can then be like, yeah, this is what I want to do. Then they approve the transaction. So that's pretty much the whole process, right? And they send the transaction. Then you can see whatever you want to see in your wallet, right? So it's just as simple as that. So the next thing we would want to do now is moving to the next thing, right, which is Blinks. So if we look at the Blinks URL, let's look for something interesting. I had one in mind, which is launching a token. Although we're not going to like be doing this here, right? But we're going to like generate the signable transaction and see it in the wallet actually. So I'm going to copy this, right? I'm going to copy this, even if I know it's not going to run, but let's just try to see if it would. Right, it doesn't run here. Let's try PowerShell. Doesn't run. Let's see if there's Bash. So PowerShell is supposed to run it actually. Bash doesn't even allow. Bash doesn't allow me to post it. Yeah, PowerShell was supposed to run it, but oh, why? I would open the emulator again. It's still connected. I just closed the terminal. This always on top tag I added, it just allows it to, if I focus on VS Code, it doesn't go like under, right? Like how other tabs will be. Yeah, so since we already know like what we want to do and how it looks, right? We're going to be doing something like this. We're going to make a post request to this endpoint, right, with these variables as the body, right? Um, I would want to do it as something like this, so we can like play around with it too. So this one is a so this one is a post request. Right, we're going to make it a feature. So I've done it before. That's why I like know all of this, right? And so what we want to do is to copy all of this, right, and paste it in here. This is the URL. But like we're going to now put in all of these constructors, or rather attributes, parameters into it. So the config address will be the config address, the name will be the name. Just like in previous video, what I'm just doing is just working on sending this transaction, right? At the end we're going to like we're trying to build this transaction, but like we're building it from the from what we get from like the front end, right? You're curious about what we just did. This is pretty much it here. The URI, the header, and the body. The body is the account and the transaction. That's pretty much what we just did. Then we're going to send the transaction and send. We're going to make a post request to this to this to this, right? We're going to make a push request, and what's going to return is like a link that is signable by the wallet instantly, right? So there's no need to build transaction or do transaction instruction or anything like that, or create message with like the Solana package. So now we just want to do checking the status code and knowing if it was successful or not, right? So that's it for our backend in this tutorial, right? Interesting. We're not making use of the Solana package. Okay. Um. Now let's try to run the application, right? Now just run. Let's try to like connect our front end to it. So this front end is a very simple front end. When it shows up, you're going to see it just two containers with like two call to action buttons, right? Solana Pay link generation here. So this is generate payment request QR code. Copy to clipboard. Also to interact with the front end, we want to create an instance of this guy here. Right, so let's start working on the variables. This is a stateless widget. Has to be stateful because I like to use the set states. Right, so first one to Solana Pay service. So what this does is just how we used to interact with our service. Um, this one will hold the variable of the Solana Pay link, and then this is important because like also we can like have something that is stateful and reactive, right? The first one we want to do is to interact with the Solana Pay, right? And so for here, the recipient is going to be my own wallet address, even if that's address that's going to sign it, right? Amount something very very minute, because haha, really has no need to play around. So when that is done, don't know, but next thing I want to do is to I want to set state here so we don't have to like start having state issues, right? I think that's pretty much it. So now I want to create another function so we can like use it to launch token. And we're just using this thing over here, right? So this is what we're going to be passing to the function. It's much just the same thing. You could have also had coded this into the function. I mean, it works anyways. So now the next thing we would want to do is to launch the user wallet immediately, because um I'm not sure going to like I'm not sure this video is going to have like enough time to like um start watching state and say, oh, after they get the link to the signable transaction, then you now wait for them to like, oh, click on sign transaction and stuff. So since we can do it automatically, let's try to do that. So I'm not even going to put this in here. Just going to try to dog it here. So is with this one, I'm going to like get our results from client.authorize. Let's start with identity URI. Right, or pass um this one I use placeholder.com. This should be an HTTPS. Right. This is more required. And then I like to do icon URI immediately after. So if you have watched the previous videos, this should just be like a walkthrough for you. So that's cluster. I think for this it is testnet. Marizo, we can try to sign the transaction. So it's the transaction that we get like from the API request that we're trying to sign with the wallet here. do we try to do here? We try to turn it to raw bytes that are understandable by Solana blockchain. So now we're signing the transaction with the wallet. So that's pretty much it. The next thing we're going to do is to start injecting it into our UI. So um currently this is not like a very robust code. It's just like a minimal something that allows that should work probably, right? Let's just inject it into our UI. Hopefully I did not miss any states here. I think it's just comments that like help us to like make it a lot easier for us, right? Plug in, launch token. So that's it. I'll check operator if and no value. And so when we click on this, I think that works. So now I'm going to use another device. I'm going to use this device here to try to scan that like a normal user, right? And let's see if it works. So firstly, I want to screen record and make sure that it works. Started my screen recording. You're going to see somewhere around this video too, right? So next thing I want to do is to scan the link. So yeah, it works, right? And just like that, the user has sent you. I sent money to myself, but yeah, think of it like the user sending you like a payment themselves. That's pretty much it, and it works. Let's check this one out. What you should do is you should open the mobile wallet. So I think we did not add logs like that. Like there are no print statements everywhere. So in production level apps, I think it should be a way of like knowing what's going on. Launch test token. Yeah, nothing is happening. Okay, I'm going to print transaction here. So at least we know that that one has gone. So I'll try it again. See where the error is coming from. Yeah, I got in body. So for some reason this push request is not going through because we're not getting a response. We're not getting a response for some reason. Oh, the device is not connected to the internet. That's crazy. So just wait for it to like, yeah, I think it's good now. That press it too fast. Oh, so it's trying to connect wallet already. That's crazy. Oh, it did not print out this response. I don't think it did. Okay, it did. It did. It did. It did. So I think that's it. The aim of this is to just show you guys that yeah, he returned something that is signable. I don't plan to launch any tokens, right? So I just want to be sure that I just want you guys to be sure that yeah, is something that you can just call an API request and it gives you something that is instantly signable, right? Phantom is gonna take his time as usual. First thing we did is to connect wallet. So that is supposed to show up. I think I've been playing around with it. It might not show connect wallet no more, right? But you guys on it should show that as we are following along. Alright, so that why that is showing, let's just look over these together. As use cases of Solana Pay and Solana Blinks, right? So for Solana Pay, you can think of something like maybe an e-commerce checkout, like an idea I had recently where users can just like a pre-order platform. Users can always pay with like Solana Pay. You accept payments in whatever SPL tokens you like, even with NFTs, right? Retail payments, in-app purchases. Yeah, this is very important too. You want to accept crypto payment as like for your purchase, yeah. Um, Other stuff like that, invoice payments, cross-border remittances, and shit. And then for Solana Blinks is obviously useful for things like tipping creators, right? Where they can just click a link and sign a transaction, right? Do you want to tip me? Something like that, right? Minting NFTs, DAO votings, right? Token swaps, staking and unstaking, like we already saw in the tweet. And yeah, gaming action. So what I thought was by the time we're done with this, talking about this should have loaded up. But I guess Phantom is a lot slower than that. Failed to establish a wallet connection. Why is that? Let's try that again. Okay, because I put this on testnet. I think this should be on testnet. So yeah, it's testnet. Right, so yeah, it works. I've connected, and next thing should be a prompt to sign the transaction. Normally, during when I debug, Phantom usually has issues like that with like wallet adapter protocol signing transactions. So what we want to do is to make sure Souffle is on testnet too. So now we can try that again. I is going to open Souffle by default because on this device Souffle is selected as my default mobile um, mobile wallet already. You should try to establish a connection, except it's like it was connected previously because I usually use like this stuff very frequently, right? No internet connection. No wonder. Yeah. Let's see if adding a set state here will change anything. Could it be this test net? So it's connecting, but it's not just signing for some reason. Let's see what happens if I just want to. And that be what's causing it. I think that's what's causing it. Just an await statement. That's crazy. Guess we'll find out. Yep, that's what's causing it. And then we'll change back to testnet. That's crazy. So guys, don't joke with your weight because you have to wait for one process to finish before another process starts. Right, so that's the idea, right? That's the idea behind this. Doesn't even work. So it's connecting automatically. And it's good like how many wallets, right? I think so. So far, should reading testnet as a cluster. Yeah, so that's it, guys. That's the idea behind today's project. Thank you guys for joining, and see you guys in the next one.